Hello and welcome back to the power failure. Last time we left off, we failed miserably. That's basically it. We have absolutely no freaking power whatsoever. So I thought about this for a little while and figured out how we could possibly solve this problem. Now I realized that that in the last episode, not sure if it was yesterday or whichever day it was, because all days just float together. Anyway, I said that I wanted it to be authentic, and that I wanted to show you my thought process. But okay, this time I did not do that. This time I actually spent a little digging, thinking about how can we possibly solve this issue. And I came up with a solution that works. It's not just a solution, it's a solution that actually even works. And the solution is to grab a bunch of iron plate and some resources that we're gonna need for this. The solution is basically to create a self-sustaining area, which will basically have the mission to just produce power, and use an overflow valve, which we recently unlocked, and have that forward power to the main base. Sounds simple, doesn't it? And it actually is. So then the question is, which recipes do we use? How should we produce all this? And my conclusion to that is that we're gonna use the hydrogen and we're gonna use biomass. And the reasoning behind this is that the syngas is a bit of a hassle to create, and the same with coke. So if we take a look at the planner, we shall see combustion, I think it's called combustion. There we go, hydrogen to combustion. There's the biomass version of it. So let's say we want 60 of this combustion mixture, and no, that's just not a random number. The reason I'm choosing that is because this combustion turbine can consume 60 per second, which gives us 24 megawatts. So if we can produce this by consuming less than 24 megawatts, we should be able to make a net gain. That's the reasoning. So let's try and let's try and see what we need in order to accomplish this. We want some basic powerhouses, basic solid separators, basic electrolyzers, and we need somewhere to get the soil as well. There we go. This is what we need. And this consumes 2.7 megawatts, which is quite a bit less than 24 megawatts. So this should be good to go. So let's use the little pin feature here to have it extend to a separate window so that we can keep an eye on what we need to build. Now the only question is how to make it scalable, and that seems to be a constant question when it comes to this. So this needs, and by the way, we're gonna use we're not gonna use coal as the fuel for this. We're actually gonna use biomass as well, because according to my estimations, it will work, basically. So we're just gonna completely ignore that the rest of our factory isn't working right now, because once this is set up, it will work. At least that's the idea of it. And then we're of course gonna need a cooling tower. We already have a cooling tower, that's good. The cooling tower is gonna use no, it's not that that's gonna use an underflow valve. We're actually gonna use an underflow valve from this. We're gonna need to let's see. The offshore pump needs to refill this water that will go here when it is below 80%. That's the idea. And let's see, I think we have some of these machines over here that we can use actually. So we don't need to rebuild all of them. Because the reason why this whole setup didn't work is that we wanted it to power too much. We just wanted it to power too much at once. And while maybe I could create this area to be self-sustaining, this area is a mess. And when we have a mess, we sooner or later have to rebuild the mess. Which is exactly what we're gonna do right now. We will keep this combustion turbine here because that will be used to power the rest of our base. So we're gonna need a fair amount of pipes here. Now we can place down these. We might want to use a bit more landfill here eventually. Let's see, we're gonna need the electrolyzers. Is this good? This is quite good, looks good. Actually, let's... How far can I stretch this? Good. Very good. Can I stretch it one more? I can. And let's see. So that goes there. Then we're gonna need the oxygen. The oxygen can just go sideways maybe. And the oxygen can hopefully be vented. It's a bit unclear, I think, to see which things can be vented or not. Because they don't really show that in FNEI or any of the mods really. So let's just hope that it can be vented. Otherwise we'll just have to flush it eventually, or we'll have to figure out another use case for it. There we go. Now this needs just water and electricity. Water we can get from here, like so. And then, let's see, then we're gonna need this solid separator. And this is a little bit annoying because this one has this one just doesn't just produce one thing, because why would something ever produce only one thing? So here we have 4 different outputs, and if we add this up, this is 6.6 6.6, 7.9, 8.8. So this is 8.8 items per second, which means that one belt is enough. One belt can handle all of this. But since we want to consider like, okay, eventually we will want it to produce a bit more, then we are gonna leave some empty space here for belts, essentially. Do we have a solid separator? Okay, let's steal an old one, I think. Solid separator. This is a solid separator, isn't it? I'm gonna steal you. No power whatsoever at the moment, so we're gonna need to kickstart this process eventually. And then a soil extractor. Now the soil extractor is fairly simple, it just produces soil and we'll just insert it directly to these. Because this needs 12, no, this needs 20 over 3 seconds, this produces 12 over 2 seconds, so it's approximately 1-to-1, not exactly 1-to-1, but it's good enough. So we'll just connect some pipes here. There we go. Whoops. Leave some room for some power poles. Create some more power poles. Actually, I kind of want to tighten this a bit more because I actually might need more inserters here eventually. There we go. And then this should belt the things up here. And then we want to split it. We want the biomass to go on the left side because we want it to go here. And the other things we will do what we always do and put them in a chest for now. This is of course gonna be a problem when the chests are full, but that should take a fair amount of time, so we should be able to get enough power and have some time to figure out what to do with the overflow until that becomes a problem. At least that is our hope. So we want to power things up, and let's see, is there anything missing? Yes, of course, our most important part, the actual combustion turbine. So that can go here for now. And then we will use the magic, the overflow valve, and have it go to the right. And are we already out of pipes? That's not good. Let's see, where do we... Okay, can actually move this a bit further to the left so that we don't need all those pipes. The important part here is that we keep these network grids, these electrical grids, separated. So there we go. Now this one alone will power the rest of our base once it gets some output. There we go, everything is connected, I think. let's see if we have missed something. We do need a bit of inserters over here. There we go. If we have missed something, we will notice, I believe. Right, there's one more important thing, of course. We need something to kickstart this. And it seems like we are just out of materials for a boiler, so let's steal this one. And let's have it use a little engineer. Now, do we have any? We have some coke. Let's use the coke. So you can see that this doesn't have full power yet, but hopefully it should have once. Actually, we can. Let's use 2 steam engines. That should give it a bit more power. So now it's producing the biomass and some sand and some other stuff. Right, we need inserters over here. We don't have any inserters over here. Okay, let's just load these up manually this time. So 1 there and 5 there. Is that good? That's good. There we go. And it seems like we did forget something. Because these produce steam, and this steam needs to be cooled down a bit in this cooling tower. It's pretty cool, huh? Sorry, too obvious. And then this cooling tower will somehow... Nice. It will basically turn this pipe. It will give some water back to this process, and this will not be full because of this underflow valve. So we are gonna use this recycled water first before any other water. And as you can see now, we have full electricity here. So we'll just shut this one off. And now I believe that we have a power source, finally. And this is actually completely self-sustaining, because this doesn't use that much combustion mixture. It uses very, very little combustion mixture. And then, every now and then, it will, okay, it's still loading up, so let's go fetch some iron. I think we have some iron here somewhere. In this stone furnace, maybe. There's no finished iron there yet, but let's fix that little problem, shall we? There we go, there we have some iron. And now we have some inserters. These inserters, we will go back with them here so that they can actually complete this automation process and give us some biomass into these machines, which is the last remaining thing. Huzzah! We have power! Oh, I think it's... You see? It's pumping some small amounts of power over here every now and then. So yeah, you can see here that sometimes we will have power and sometimes not. And while this is highly disturbing and highly inefficient and not optimal, it's better than having no power at all, that's for sure. Because now this will just continue on like this. It will work a few times, it will not work at all sometimes. And you know what? That's completely okay, actually. So let's shut off this kickstarting mechanism. And let's see, we have 2 electrolyzers there, we have 2 powerhouses. I think this is sort of scalable. We will need more solid separators. We should have 3 solid separators. And more of these, but these are pretty simple. We have those ready. So a few more inserters. There we go. Now we just need some more solid separators. And that might not be completely easy to get that actually. Is this empty? I think it's pretty much empty. Yeah, 0.9. I'm very fine with scrapping that. So then we can move this. Where did it go? There it is. We can move this over here so that just in case we one day have a bit of extra fluids, we can store that in here. Nice! We have fixed power for some values of fixed, of course. This means that we can prepare the next solid separator. Yeah, that's a lot of steel. That's for sure a lot of steel. Simple circuit board we can handcraft, small parts we can fix, iron plates that's not a problem, assembling machines sure we can fix. Steel plates, that's a bit of a problem. So welcome to our semi-working factory. Now it's bad. It's still bad. It's very much not good. Now it's good. Now it's bad. And essentially it's just gonna continue like this for the foreseeable future, or at least for a while. But the good news is that we are making a bit of a progress on the crusher. Very, very slowly. But slowly is way better than not making any progress at all, I'll tell you that. That's for sure. Do I have any... I don't like it, but I'll just do it. Because getting the power up and working is basically our main priority at the moment. And actually I think we can do the same with you. So I will steal you for a little bit. I'll set a blueprint over there. And then I will have this little machine and put it down where it belongs, sort of. What? I thought I took 2 of them. Am I stupid? I'm probably stupid. Oh, that's a classifier. Okay. That's not helpful. Sure, then we'll just put back the classifier. Do we have a solid separator? That's another classifier. Doesn't quite look like it, at least not that I can think of. Not that I'm aware of. So we'll just work with what we have for now. At least having 2 of these should be better than having 0. Or, well, yeah, should be better than having 1 as well. Of course. There we go. How about that? Now, as you can see, this is producing a fair amount of sand and coarse fraction and limestone and yeah, stuff. But the good news is that our crusher is almost finished, and the limiting factor right now for this fuel is the biomass. But at least it's self-sustaining. So I do have a couple of ideas about what to do with this with these overflow things. And the idea is basically that, well, we could of course start off by sorting them, because that would be helpful for sure. But the sand, it just so happens that what is missing tells us that we need more sand. How great is that? And guess what this is? This is more sand! How lucky we are! So, in order to accomplish this, I'm gonna extend a bit further north here. I really hope that we will get more resources now from our main production. Let's take a look at the... It looks a bit better. It's more uptime, less downtime. But it's... yeah, it's not great. I wouldn't be able to call it great, really. But hopefully, maybe eventually this will also be able to kickstart itself. Or actually, it will probably not, because it needs steam. I just realized it needs steam. But maybe it will get some steam. Let's take a look. Okay, these are actually running somehow. I can't really tell you how, but it's nice to see that they are running. But they are not doing so great, so let's help them a bit along the way. This should hopefully get these started eventually, because this is our old main source of fuel. Right now the only source of fuel we have is these ones, which is, at least it's doing something, so that's good, but it's definitely not great. But whatever, basically. It's gonna struggle for a while, but hopefully it should give us what we need, and what we need is more iron. It feels strange saying that for somehow. We actually need iron, or well, rather, we need steel to make another solid separator, which should help us get even more biomass, which we need for the fuel, which we need for the power, which we need to produce everything else. What a coincidence, isn't it? So let's clean up some things here, because this was a mess. A very, very, very big mess. Now you might be thinking that what about these composters? Those can give us some biomass as well. And yes, that's true. But they are not that reliable right now because we don't have any source that gives us as much as we want, essentially. So for now, I think that this is actually the best approach to get this. Naturally, we will probably want other sources of biomass later on, especially when these chests are getting full. Now let's see if I can put in an extra here and tell it to filter out sand. On the right side, please. Because we want the sand to be put into one of these screeners, essentially. What an absolute mess. Let's skip this. It's amazing how quickly things change here. So at one point the sand is the main product that we want, and biomass is a byproduct, but now biomass is the main product and the sand is the byproduct. It's strange, but it's PyBlock, so what can you expect? So I will try to organize all of this a bit better. Even though we will reorganize it again once we have enough green science and can make our amazing railway system, which feels like it's miles away right now. So 1, 2, perfect. Now we can use some long-handed inserters here actually to output this. And then we will provide it with some sand from the bottom. Assuming that it will eventually get... Oh, right, yeah, exactly. Now it's blocked because we blocked the sand. So we really need to prioritize getting this sand up here. So there we go. Sand should be on its way. Now it's kind of curious to see if we will have power enough to process this sand. But hopefully we will. We'll just have to wait and see. Maybe we won't. Or maybe we will. Maybe we won't. Maybe we will. Maybe we won't. It's anyone's guess at this point, basically. So, in order to kind of secure that we do have enough, I'm thinking about doing something like this. This is basically gonna be a way of caching sand and then directly outputting it again. While this might waste a little bit of power, it should hopefully ensure us that we will have enough storage space for all the sand, essentially. I'm wondering though if maybe we need more inserters for this. And it feels already like this was a good idea, actually. Because this belt is stopped. It's totally blocked at this point. So we'll just output some more or build some more. We probably might need more screeners, or maybe the screeners need more. Well, one of the screeners needs more need an inserter, naturally. Makes sense. Then let's make another screener. Now I think we might have a bit too much inserters, believe it or not, here. So let's check this out. There we go. This should be enough. 3 inserters is enough. More than enough. 2 might even work, actually. But let's stick with 3 for now, and this gives us some extra quartz ore. Amazing! Let's get rid of this belt for now, even though we might want to plug it back in there soon. Maybe from another direction or something, I don't know. How are we doing with the tar? Oh, of course this is full. I think yeah, exactly, we broke a pipe over here a while ago. So let's plug that back in. Even though this might come at the risk of giving us some overflow again. We have so much copper. My god. How is the fishing doing? It doesn't have any steam. Slaughterhouse, do we have another way? No. When we will get slaughterhouse? When we will get Okay, we can actually research that with only red science, which feels quite interesting. Although it gives us a bunch of things which we don't really have any clue about what it is. But yeah, this kind of slaughterhouse would be great, but it's quite expensive, so I think we'll stick to the steam powered for a while. So let's check where we are getting this steam from, or rather where we are not getting this steam from. So we might actually want to disable this, because now we have an external power source. and this is quite inefficient. So now this should give us some steam. This should give us some more steam, and I'm not convinced about this one, so I will remove it for now. Naturally, we could put our producer of combustion things back here, but for that we need a powerhouse. For that we need some more lead and stuff, which we don't really have that much of. How about you actually take things out? And it appears we might have a bigger power shortage right now. Did I forget something down there? It should not be blocked for this long. Whoops. Oh, see, I see what we did. The problem is that we connected the power grids. That's not supposed to happen. That was the mistake. There we go, glad we cleared that out. So now we'll just have to kickstart this again. There we go. Now we should be back and up and running. That's the error we did last time. We had a massive power failure in the last episode. So let's not make that mistake again of connecting the power grids. That's very, very bad. Let's make some landfill. So now this should be good to go again, and we have played in for 43 minutes almost. But at least we have power. We have completed one research, so only the rest to go. And I'm gonna empty this just to get some more sand in there. So then we have coarse fraction and limestone. Coarse fraction can be converted into stone and iron oxide and gravel. And gravel we can actually deal with at this point. This is a lot of... We have a lot of sand here. And of course we still have a bit of a power issue. Which might be the reason why this sand is not all processed. So it's a good thing that we have these chests here. Right. So we're gonna want another solid separator, but I'm very not sure if we have all the iron we need for that just yet. How about we change this around a little bit? There we go. Nope, that's not enough iron. It's good to see at least that our factory is mostly running, even though it's not fully running. One, yay. I just basically need more iron here. Oh boy. Still have fair amount of power outages. What is... Okay, so it is actually this combustion turbine doing all the work all the time. So we still have 5 steam engines. I would like to find them and remove them. I think we have 4 of them down to the left, close to the new area, of course. It really feels like we have a fair amount of distance to cover now. Here we have all 5 of them, of course. So let's get rid of these. You are no longer important for now. Right, this was the coal thingy. The coal dust that we had on this belt. Might be time to research the steel axe actually. Assuming I can even do that. Seems like I can. But boy, now we have all of this. Raw coal, that's that, yes. Coke processing. Coke oven gas. Well, might be interesting. Titanium processing. What we can we make the improved titanium? I have no idea how this works. There's a lot of different things that we have basically no real clue about what they do or what they need or anything. But I think that we're gonna try to aim to get to green science, of course. There is a lot of these researchers, technologies that I recognize and that I believe I've thought that, oh, that's gonna be useful, but... Alright, that's that one probably. But now I'm not sure about which one is the most important one, basically. Burner. Burner might be interesting for some things, although a bit dangerous. Might be time to start some warehousing. Even though we definitely don't have the steel plates we need for it, but... No. Anyway. Things are still a bit broken sometimes, but we already have 28% progress towards coke processing, so that's good. We're gonna need... Okay, it seems like we are actually using up the tar. That's good to see. It feels like I was about to do something before, but I completely forgot about what. I think I do want to have a powerhouse So we need 35 steel. Maybe we have gotten some more steel up here now. Ah, not quite enough. Not quite enough. I think you can prioritize the right side, please. It's very shaky, but it's better than nothing. So we'll probably have to continue focusing on fixing power in further episodes. Ah, it has emptied out all the saved iron. That's of course why iron is starting to be a bit of a problem. This is probably where all of that goes these days. How about we start to process some of this? Because this takes a fair amount of time to process. And this as well, actually. Let's see, we need some fuel here. One third of the way of coke processing. Right, so let's take a look at what we actually need for the green science. Logistic science pack. A lot of this we have. Relecia seeds, apparently we can make. So this, we have to figure out how to make that flour. And this methanol, that's just some kind of fluid fuel, I believe. Yeah. Optical sets. Okay, it needs molten glass, needs boron trioxide. I don't know what that is. Moss, seaweed, wastewater, ash. A lot of these things we recognize. Aromatics, vacuum. I think we can produce vacuum somehow. Yep. Aromatics we might want to look into. Hot air, we have tar, we have coke, water, iron ore, wood, pressured air, diborane. Apparently something we can make now. Titanium ore, borax, raw borax. Oh. So we have two options here. Either we make it out of syngas or we make it out of tar. I'm honestly not completely sure here. Raw borax, because the thing is that I don't know what niobium ore is or how to use it. Sea sponge? Whatever, sure, why not? But 150 syngas, that's quite a lot. So let's go with this one. So this is something we can set up. It just requires another quenching machine thing. So let's take a look at aromatics and releases, because that we don't have at the moment. Oh, 31 recipes. So I'm guessing that this might be the first one we will need. A science called Releasia. Makes sense. So it seems like we have to... Yeah, well, this... I think it's time we start queuing this research. And then we might just as well start queuing this research too. And this is why we are still a bit away from getting green science, because we need to research a fair amount of things actually. I'm not so sure that I need this at this moment actually. Although 12 iron oxide, that's quite a lot. But I don't quite know how to make sulfur. At least not from the top of my head. And I think we want to prioritize the botany and the releasia, so... In fact, I'm not even sure we want the coke processing, but we've already made a fair amount of progress on it, so let's keep it. So, okay, that's the releasia. And let's take a look at aromatics, although that was a fluid. Aromatic we can get from creosote, creosote we can get from tar. Seems simple enough. Not even any side products. I'm shocked. I'm surprised. That's very unusual. So here we have a steam-powered quenching tower, which we are gonna need another one of, which requires a little bit of iron. Maybe we have some, yes, we have some iron over here. That's good. Speaking of iron, I should probably start storing more of this copper, otherwise the furnaces will be full of copper. Which they kinda already are. Some of them. So... yeah, let's open up the chest. And then we'll get some more ingredients for the circuit boards. I do want some small parts, please. Thank you. Let's limit that to, since the stack size is 500 already, having 500 in a chest is already good enough. Quenching tower. So we're not quite yet there yet for the powerhouse. Because we still need 4 more. 4 more steel. 4 more steel. So let's take a look here. We need a raw borax and niobium ore. So yeah, let's put it like this. It's nice that we have prepared a bit of space here for this. So we can basically just copy the design. And right, we do seem to have a bit of a steam problem. still. So, okay, this should be good. And then we will just need to put this in a chest somewhere. Just so happens that we have some space over here. But let's see, we needed the borax, I believe. This is a lot of processes. And the borax needs to go in a washer, it seems. Okay, interesting. But why not, I guess? Borax, raw borax. Let's make it go to the right. And let's add that one. Do we have a washer? We have a washer. Borax. There we go. Borax and tailings. I believe we have scrap for tailings here somewhere. We do over here. Let's have it go this way. Oh no. Something is wrong. We have an odd number of pipe to grounds. Hate it when this happens. If anyone knows where the other pipe to ground is, please let me know. I honestly don't know where it is. There we go. Raw borax to borax is set up, and let's put the borax in a chest. Great. Seems like this also wants some power. Not that we have that much power, but anyway. And still not enough steel, maybe? We're getting closer, but not quite yet there. We need a little bit more. Powerhouse. Oh, and then we need 146 iron as well. Of course, how great is that? So we need a fair amount of iron, it seems, right now. It's funny how we had so much iron a while ago. Where did that go? Is there some iron over there? How are we doing with the steam and so on over here? We have plenty of logs waiting to be used, at least. That's good news. That's very good news. But the steam is struggling. It's struggling a lot. So let's see, what can we use as fuel at this point? It is producing a bit of fuel here. But I'm wondering if it might be a slow kickstarting process, or if it's just, I don't know. One problem might of course be that we don't have as much power as we need all the time. Which means that the inserters get slowed down, which means that this process gets slowed down, which yeah, is not that great. So, it's been an hour. We have fixed our power for some values of fixed. We have gotten a tiny bit step closer to green science. So I guess that we should maybe just leave it at that. Next step is, I honestly don't know, but we'll figure that out. Until next time. Thank you and see you later.